Good morning and welcome back to Coffee Break. So first I'm going to apologize about my voice, which is great today because it used to be worse than this.
This is great?
Yes.
Okay.
It used to be almost non-existent a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Sorry we missed last week, but we're making up for it with a very special guest.
Welcome, Philip.
Thanks. I'm thrilled to be here.
This seems like it's a goal for you, to be honest.
Yeah, it was secretly a goal of mine because Mike, I know you're out there watching, and Mike was on here like 4 times or something last year. And he's been gone a whole year, and it took them a whole year to have me here on Coffee
Sorry.
Break.
You could have just said something.
Yeah, but then it doesn't count. That doesn't count.
That's true. You need the true invitation.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Mike, I know you still have like three appearances up on me, but here I am.
Yes.
This is just the beginning.
I can only hope so. I hope I don't fail the audition.
So, Philip, you work here.
I do.
What
Yeah.
is your job?
I am the digital content specialist. And
What does that mean?
yeah, so I'm going to try to explain this without a whole bunch of jargon.
Mhm.
I basically write things that go on our online platforms.
I think you can say social media.
Okay, so social media is a big part of my job, and that is one of our online platforms, which is already
But it's
pretty
true,
jargony.
it's not the only thing. Yeah.
Right. So I do manage our social media brands, our Twitter and our Facebook. I also contribute to the Earthlings blog most days a week, and I also update our website, so earthlings.com, including the EBYR sections.
Yeah. So chances are, if you've talked to us online, unless you were talking directly to Catherine and I, you were probably talking to Philip.
That's right, yeah. So I am the actual person behind the EBYR Twitter. So.
I like this. It's a Wizard of Oz moment, like pushing back the curtain,
exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
Nice.
So here I am. I'm not in the shadows anymore.
Yeah. So what does a typical day for you look like?
As with any job, it can change from day to day, but I do have something of a routine, kind of daily and then weekly and then monthly. So usually when I roll into work, one of the first things I do is I check all our social media channels. So I do check the EBYR Facebook and Twitter when I come in, just to see if anything has mentioned us or if anyone has tweeted at us or something, from the hours of 5 p.m. all the way through 8 a.m. So that's usually the first thing I do, and that's something I do every day. I will also, check our social media intermittently throughout the day. So I do tell people I'm paid to be on Facebook all day. So
Nice.
I don't have to hide Facebook when my boss walks over. That's what I do on a daily basis. Often I'm also uploading a post to the Earthlings blog, which you should all definitely check out if you're not watching this on Earthlings right now. We have really good content from authors and illustrators. That's probably one of the best parts of my job as far as it's related to EBYR. Every season when we have new books from authors and illustrators, I am often contacting them asking for guest posts, and they're always really lovely to work with. So because we publish about 8 books per season, and we have a lot more than 8 days per season on the blog, I'm often asking authors and illustrators for multiple blog posts. And so I ask really nicely and try to sneak in the request for extras at the end.
Become like buddies with them, and so you can just chat them up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's really fun, and the posts they're all really creative people, so they have the most creative answers, which is a lot of fun. So actually today, for the first time ever, I have translated a blog post.
Ooh, congratulations.
From French.
I figured
with a little help from my wife, a former French teacher.
I didn't know you had enough French to do that.
I did, yeah. I did the
Wow.
whole translation by myself using the dictionary, of course, and then I sent it to Erin and said, "How does this
How
look?"
bad is it?
And she only had, I think, 3 or 4 edits.
Oh, wow.
So
There
it was
you
pretty
go.
good. So
Nice.
I'm also a translator.
So are there any aspects about your job that you find challenging?
In a fun way, certainly. So I was an English major in college, so I came into the publishing industry thinking, I know books, so I know publishing, right? which is which is not the case. There are a lot of things about the publishing industry I didn't know, and about the kidlit world in particular that I didn't know.
We're quirky people.
Yeah, and really lovely, creative people. So I didn't read a lot of children's books before, in between my childhood and when I started here. So I just had a lot of people to learn in the industry, and a lot of elements of the process to learn as well. I had no idea how long it takes to take a picture book with limited text from idea to draft, through all the edits to an actual book. So,
Yeah.
but it's been fun, and everyone's been lovely along the way. So
You were an English major. Have you always, was publishing a dream of yours to work in publishing?
Did you just stumble across it?
We usually ask what made you want to work in publishing, but that's not always true.
Well, the guiding thing was definitely, I love books. I would love to help make books or promote them in whatever way. So kind of the opposite of Mike, I'm a retired English teacher. I taught English a couple of years right after college, and loved a lot of it and loved my students, but was kind of looking for something a little bit different. So it seemed like having that in my past, working at a publisher would be a good fit to use some of that literary knowledge. And to be around literary people, honestly, be around book nerds is it's pretty great.
So do you have any advice for people who are looking to get into publishing?
Or even publishing marketing.
Yeah.
Right, or social media jobs.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is kind of standard advice sort of across the board if you're looking to get into communications or marketing work. And that is, if you're a college student, get an internship. If you're maybe even still a college student, or if you've graduated from college, look for someone like a nonprofit that will let you manage their social media or contribute to their online marketing, because that's a really good way to gain experience. You're not going to make money, you're going to be volunteering, but that's going to help you build that resume so that when you see a job that says, do you have experience with Facebook and Twitter and social media, you have that on your resume instead of just saying, well, yeah, I use Facebook.
Right.
So everybody thinks they know Facebook, but there are elements to it,
Right.
that are specific to marketing. As far as working in marketing for a publisher, I think it's always helpful to know the world that you're looking to get into. So even if it's just learning some names, following some people on social media, seeing some of the topics or the books that are sort of in the current imagination, in the public eye, that's really important. It's not groundbreaking advice, it's just solid. So.
Do you have any advice for authors or illustrators who struggle with social media?
Yeah, I'm going to try not to echo entirely the social media 101 that you guys did, because that's really excellent and it's already out there.
Good.
Yeah. So whether you're new on social media or you've been on social media a long time, something that I found from being on social media a lot during the day is, even if you kind of feel at home there or you're familiar with it, it can be really overwhelming if you're not smart about curating your own feeds. So social media, as you all know, can just be like a black hole. It can be a way that you waste a ton of time and you're not productive. And it can also be a way to make yourself really anxious or feel bad about yourself, because here are all these lovely people that are doing all these things or telling you, here are the top 10 things that you need to do or need to know every day. And honestly, that stuff's not usually very helpful. So I think it's really important to be intentional about who you follow that's going to help you be productive in your work. So people that you admire that are creative, but that aren't overwhelming you with all sorts of stuff that's not relevant to you. People that give good advice as opposed to too much advice. And just people that are really lovely to sort of be around or hear from, the way you would choose your friends. So I think that's part of it. I think one piece of advice that I give to authors who are really nervous about getting on social media is to set aside a particular amount of time every day and just build it into their routine. So you might take 15 minutes like I do in the morning and say, this is when I'm going to do my social media. I'm going to read through the things that I need to know about. I'm going to schedule some posts. You can do that directly on Facebook and now on Twitter using Dashboard. You can use Hootsuite. And if you're worried about not ever getting around to it or spending too much time on social media, that's a really good way to kind of regiment it for you and make that part of your day as opposed to something you're really afraid to get to or something that you're never able to get outside of. So,
Is there anything about your job that you think people would find surprising?
it's a good question.
I know.
It's a surprising question. One of the things that I guess I was most surprised about, again in a good way and reflecting all the wonderful people that are in the Kidlit world, is how friendly all of the important people in the Kidlit world seem to be.
Yeah.
So all of our authors, all of the authors that we work with, and all the other bloggers and publishers respond to emails and are really delighted to hear from people and just are willing to give up, a lot of their time and attention. It's not a cutthroat industry in the ways that I've interacted with it. Maybe not a huge surprise, but definitely a pleasant confirmation that the people writing books for our children are indeed wonderful people that we want our children to learn from.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. What was your favorite book as a kid?
my favorite book, and this was more of a novel that I read. I was a pretty precocious reader, so I read a lot of novels when I was a
I'm not
I'm
surprised
not
by
surprised.
this. Yeah.
I loved Where the Red Fern Grows, which is a book about dogs
God.
with a sort of beautiful, sad ending, and I just,
Gut-wrenching.
I love
Heartbreaking,
that book.
gut-wrenching ending.
I never had pets more exciting than fish growing up, so books about dogs and other pets, those were some of the things that I read a lot.
Aw, you're like, I would love to have a dog that I
Yeah.
lose so sadly. Well, Philip, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks
Hope it was-
for inviting me.
Yeah, I hope it was worth the wait.
Oh, absolutely. Only 3 more times and I'm kind of tied with you.
This is just your debut.
Yeah.
Exactly. Many more to come.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Maybe we should put that in there if that spoils the ending for anybody. I'm sorry.
I think it's.
It's been around for a long time. I think.
Yeah, I think people know.
Yeah.
If it's a sad book and it's about a dog, which I think everyone knows, I think you can assume what the ending is.
Yeah.